Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. Come on in. We're going to give you a few seconds to come into the room, and then we'll get started. I wanted to mention as you're all coming in tonight, this evening's webinar is going to be offered in both English and Spanish. As you're coming in, if you take a look down at the bottom of your screen, you should see a globe icon. It may say interpretation on it. And if you click on that, it'll give you the option of listening in English or Spanish. So you can select your preferred language there. Going to give everyone just a few more seconds to come in, and then we'll get started. Okay. One more announcement on language tonight. We are offering this evening's presentation in English and Spanish. So if you haven't already done so, at the bottom right hand of your screen, there's an interpretation globe icon. You can click on that and select your preferred English. If you have any issues with the audio tonight at all, we have enabled the Q&A feature, and you can type your question, you can type your concern into the Q&A, and we'll have one of our attendees try to troubleshoot with you if you're having any trouble hearing. So want to just start by welcoming everybody to this evening's event. This is our 10th grade parent night. We're so excited to be here with you and so grateful for your attendance tonight. We in the counseling department really believe that our parents are our most important partners in supporting our students' overall success. So we welcome you. We always encourage your participation, and we're just thrilled that you're here. We have a very informative evening planned for tonight, and I wanted to start by introducing our panel. My name is Ryan Carter. I'm the counseling coordinator at Los Altos High School. Nice to see all of you. Tamisha Wise is here. We're lucky to have her. She is a school counselor at Los Altos High School. Laura Duran is our College and Career Center coordinator. Thrilled that she can join us and share information with you tonight. Fabian Morales Medina is our assistant principal who works very closely with the counseling department, and he's always a great support to us, and he's here tonight in a supporting role as well. And then finally, Maria Herney is our bilingual liaison and is here providing Spanish translation for all of our Spanish-speaking parents in the house. So welcome to all of you. Just again, so thankful that you're here tonight. I wanted to mention that we are recording this evening's webinar. And so we're going to make the recording available to you on our website, and I'll probably send it out on Parent Square as well, along with our slides this evening. As I mentioned, we're translating. We also have closed caption on this evening, as you can see there. So hopefully you won't have any trouble absorbing what we're sharing with you. We have enabled the question and answer feature, the Q&A feature. And so as we're going through this evening's event, you're welcome to enter your questions. We will also leave time at the end for you to enter questions into the Q&A, and we'll take some time to answer some of those questions as well. So I think we can move on to the next slide. So tonight, we're going to focus.
I'm sorry, Mr. Carter, can I just make the announcement in Spanish just in case?
Of course.
Sorry, Mr. Carter. Familias, tenemos la traducción disponible para nuestras familias que hablan español esta noche. Simplemente les pedimos que por favor toquen el botón que dice interpretación, que tiene el mundo como signo, y ahí pueden seleccionar español para escuchar la presentación español que está proporcionado esta noche por la señora Herney. Thank you, Mr. Carter.
Gracias. So tonight we are here and we're focusing on a few main areas. You know, we are going to be spending a lot of time with your 10th graders this year, and it's time that we're going to spend sharing a lot of valuable information with them. And so this is really an opportunity for us to share a little bit with you about the ways in which we support your students over the 10th grade year. And so tonight our focus area is to give you an idea of our school counseling services for 10th graders. We're going to spend a little time introducing you to the things that we've been introducing your students to, like our graduation requirements, college entrance requirements. We're going to spend a little bit of time on course selection this evening. We just kicked off that process for the upcoming school year, believe it or not, yesterday. And so we're in the thick of it right now. So it's good timing for us to be sharing that info with you. And then Laura is going to bring us home with information about the College and Career Center. Lots of great information coming. Next slide. So by now, we're halfway through your students' 10th grade year. I know many of you have connected with us in the counseling department over the last year and a half and have a good relationship with us already and have a sense of what our role is. But I just wanted to remind everyone that school counselors at Los Altos High School and at MVLA are here to support your students holistically. We're here to support them overall. And that includes their academic success, their social emotional development, as well as their college and career preparedness. And so over the course of this year and the next few years, we're really working with students on helping make sure that they're connected to our school community, that they're engaged in all of the great things that we have to offer. We're here to support them to be successful academically and to help them plan their academic pathways. We're here to help them with their post-secondary planning, and 21st century skill building is a big part of what we're integrating into the 10th grade year. And I'll be talking more about that as I explain some of our services a little bit later. Helping students navigate resources and just helping them overall to be happy, healthy, well-adjusted human beings that are really having a great time and making the most out of their high school experience. We can go on to the next slide. So this graphic here is our MVLA School Counseling Services curriculum. And we post this on our literature, it's on our website, and it really breaks down all of the things that we provide to students over the course of 4 years. I'll let you dig into that in more detail on your own, but I did just want to, as a starting point, remind everyone that the school counseling services that we provide at Los Altos High School are part of a district-wide program. And so we are aligned in what we deliver in school counseling services with our partner school at Mountain View High School. Next slide. So as I mentioned, we really strongly believe that our parents are our most important partners in supporting our students' academic and overall success. And so I wanted to share with you some of the many ways that we encourage parents to become engaged, and the many ways that we bring parents in and connect them with what's going on in their students' experience here over the course of 4 years, and in particular tonight with the 10th grade year. So tonight we are currently at the school counseling 10th grade parent night. You'll see that at the top. There's also a very significant number of College and Career Center events in 10th grade and throughout all the grades. And Laura's going to be talking more about that in just a few moments. Lots of school-wide events also throughout the course of 4 years, including 10th grade year. Things like you may have attended back to school night. That's just one example of some of the school-wide events where we bring parents in to learn more about their students' experience at the school. And then community partnerships. Things like the MVLA Parent Speaker Series, which offers parent education, as well as the PTSA offers a number of events as well. So just a number of ways to bring parents in and connect them with what's happening in their students' experience so that you're as fully engaged as your students are in their process. Next slide. So there are a number of ways that we support students over the course of their 10th grade year. We offer a variety of presentations and workshops and drop-in sessions. Right now, students can drop in and see us anytime during lunch or brunch. We are out in the quads for them to drop in and see us as they move through their course selection process. And we offer a lot of formal content as well. And one example of these that I wanted to spend a little time giving you a sense of what we cover in is the 10th grade small group workshops. And this is something that we introduced about 3 years ago. And these workshops have been a really exciting opportunity to provide our 10th graders with a more comprehensive curricular school counseling content that goes beyond just academic and college and career areas, and also introduces 21st century skill building. So you're seeing a storybook on the screen, and that's because we have woven the theme of exploring students' personal narratives throughout this workshop. We use the metaphor of a story to make the concept of a personal narrative more accessible to our 10th graders. And so we thread that metaphor throughout all the content areas of the workshop. And so the first area of the workshop is really focused on the competency of self-direction, or what we call with the students, navigation. And this is explored through hands-on experiences of students navigating our systems and other systems, things like the Navient system, ARIES or SIS, where we help them navigate graduation requirements and college entrance requirements, as well as navigating other school and local community resources, including mental health, academic support resources, etc. The second area explores the skill of communication. And this is where that personal narrative activity comes in, where we ask students to visualize themselves as authors. And ask them to think about writing a story about a main character, and the main character is themselves. And so the story is about their high school experience. And then in subsequent chapters, we ask them to think about what might be coming next for them after high school. And so students have the opportunity to practice both writing some components of their story, and then also sharing it in communication with a partner, and then with a larger group. And then we debrief about what it's like talking about and sharing about themselves. And for most students, they report that this is difficult or awkward in the beginning, because they typically haven't done much of this style of communication or writing in school. And so that leads to discussion about when they might be asked to do more of this in the future. And they immediately make a connection to things like college essays and interviews and building professional relationships. And so we're helping them draw a line in this activity between this important life skill and the need to continue working on developing it. The third area of the workshop focuses on authentic engagement. And again, here we connect what they have written about, what is important to them and their vision for the future, to intentionally engaging in activities and opportunities and courses and choices that align with their interests, with their passions, with their goals, with their values, and how all of this connects with their personal fulfillment and actualizing their goals. So we really love this activity because first, it's highly interactive and the students learn with and from their peers, which is the benefit of this being a group workshop. It also really seems to resonate with all of our students, whether their post-secondary chapters involve four-year college, community college, the trades, gap years, or all of the above. And of course, this all ties into the personal narrative writing that they do in their college applications and the skills of being able to interview, which we keep building on in future grades. So I hope that gives you an idea of what we're covering in that workshop with your 10th grade students. We can move on to the next slide. As I mentioned, part of that workshop is really helping students navigate. And so we're helping them navigate a number of resources that I mentioned. And so I wanted to make sure you knew how to navigate some of the resources that are here to help you support your student as well. The LHS website is kind of the hub for all of the information about our school. Our counseling website has really robust content covering everything that we offer to our students and families. Parent Square is a new platform. I know many or most of you are on that already, but if you're not, please check that out. That's where we are posting our newsletters, we're posting announcements. It's where the principal is posting her newsletter. And so it's a great thing to be connected to. And then ARIES or SIS, I know many of you are already on there, and I'll talk just about what we're encouraging kids to be engaged in there in just a second as well. Next slide. So as I mentioned, we are working with kids on navigating a variety of things, and graduation requirements are definitely one of them. We are about to go into 10th grade English classes in a little over a week for one of those presentations that I mentioned a little bit earlier. And this is where we're really going to break down, again, graduation requirements. We introduced our students to these requirements last year when we set up their 4-year plan with them. And we keep building on that understanding of our graduation requirements in events like the one I just described, helping them understand what they need to do to graduate, and also helping them understand the areas where our graduation requirements are the same and where they differ from college entrance requirements. And Tamisha is going to talk about that, those sets of requirements in just a few moments. We can move on. Just mentioned SIS a few minutes ago. I know many of you are in there right now monitoring your students' course progress and grades, maybe their attendance as well. Our students are doing that pretty consistently also. This is where we also begin introducing students to their graduation status report and their transcript, and I'll show you visuals of those next, so we can move on. So this is a snapshot of what the graduation status report looks like. And this is a document that shows students exactly where they are and what they still have left to do to graduate. So you'll see the columns there, A through D, moving left to right. The A column is just showing what those graduation requirements are that I just talked about a second ago. The next column shows everything that the student has completed prior to the current academic school year. Column C is what the student's currently enrolled in. And then column D shows what they'll still have left to complete in order to meet those graduation requirements by subject area once the school year's over. So we go through this with students every time that they meet with us for any kind of appointment or workshop that we're delivering, but we're really working on encouraging students and teaching students how to be self-directed and monitor this on their own as well, so they take ownership of where they are in this. Next slide, please. This is also the time when we begin introducing students to their Los Altos High School transcript and helping them understand what the transcript is, that it's their academic record and it's a collection of all of the courses and grades and credits that they've taken and earned throughout high school. This is also the document that colleges and universities use to determine students' eligibility for admission to their institution, and what colleges also review to determine whether they think the student is a strong academic fit for their institution as well. I did want to mention, this is an important document. Grades are obviously important to a number of stakeholders, including colleges as students are applying to colleges and universities, but it is one of multiple admissions factors. I know that for myself, when I'm working with my students and reviewing their transcript, I like to spend equal parts talking about how they felt about their effort and how they felt about the habits that they had over the course of that semester that we're reviewing. And so that they're not just focused solely on the end result of the grades, but they're also really considering things that they have immediate control over, like their effort and their habits, those kinds of things. So just wanted to mention that that's a tool that's worked really well for me. And it's a tool that I've shared with many of the parents that I work with, and they've expressed that that's been very helpful in keeping the conversation grounded around grades and transcripts. Next slide, please. If you were just looking at the transcript, you may have noticed on the bottom left, we have a section where the students' grade point averages are listed. Again, this is the time when we begin raising student awareness to the high school grade point average. And I wanted to just mention that our goal here is to bring healthy awareness to the transcript so that students are aware what the GPA is and what it's used for. It is a metric that is used for a variety of things throughout high school. And it's not just colleges, students, grade point averages matter in terms of eligibility for things like being able to participate in extracurricular activities and sports, being members of honors societies. I even have students come to see me sometime to sign their insurance forms. If their GPA is high enough, their parents get a discount on their insurance. So there are a number of reasons why this is a good thing to be aware of. But again, we want to balance that so that they're aware of what the GPA is, why it matters, without overemphasizing its importance. It is, again, one factor that is used in the college admissions process, an important factor, but not the sole factor as well. Next slide. Okay, I think I'm going to hand things off to my friend, Ms. Wise.
Thanks, Mr. Carter. So I will be going over just what you see here. So as you've seen in a couple of slides prior, those were the high school graduation requirements. And this is a little different as far as the college entrance requirements. So we do go over this with the students as well to show them the differences, to ensure that they understand the differences between the high school graduation requirements and the college entrance requirements. And we just want to ensure that we do advise students to take the recommended year, so they'll have more options as far as post-secondary planning. And so we do encourage that as far not, it's not mandatory, but we do recommend it. So we do encourage students to have a wider variety of post-secondary options. So in the process of us kind of going over the college entrance requirements, we do provide students with what we call an A through G requirement checklist, and we will be giving that as a handout to students at the 10th grade workshop. So we do provide this, as well as what we call these their course code, their scanned kind of QR codes for the College and Career Center, our counseling website, various different resources that we have on campus. And so also what we do like is we keep a PDF copy, which is an editable copy, on our website. So it's actually on our website as well. So just know that if you want to take a look at this and kind of go over this with your students prior to, the sophomore workshop, you're more than welcome to do so, and it's available on our website. So reviewing the 4-year plan. So back about almost a year ago, in the 9th grade appointments, the students created a 4-year plan with their counselor, and the counselors did share their 4-year plan with their students in their appointments, and it should be in their Google Drive. If they are not able to find this 4-year plan, just to review it as we're going through the course selection and making sure that they're, not necessarily on the right track, but just making sure that they kind of know what the next steps will be. We encourage them to either reach out to their counselor or look in their Google Drive to make sure that what they discussed is kind of going hand in hand or parallel, or may have changed based on their interests, but just making sure that they're going in the right direction. And the counselor normally does an annual review with the students. And so we'll go over this in the sophomore group as well. So as far as course selection, I know that there are a lot of questions I see coming in, so keep them coming. But we just wanted to go over the kind of overview of the course selection. And I think some of the answers or the questions will be answered once we go over this particular portion of the presentation. So the course selection window opened up yesterday, and it ends on February 17th, which is the last day just before we go on what we call the February holiday break. So the students will be able to enter their courses for the 2023-2024 school year into Aries. And then each student should have received a copy of their course selection sheet and a time management worksheet in their 3rd period class yesterday. And then since this is the first week of the course selection, students are able to have individual conversations with teachers about course recommendations for next year. The counselors are also providing drop-in services, and we are also in the quad for the duration of this week during lunchtime. So your students can come to the quad in front of the library and ask their counselors questions during lunchtime. So therefore they're able to know that we're just in a central place, because I know we're kind of far out and we're kind of spread out. So we're definitely in one location to assist and make sure that students' questions are answered and that we're able to help the students. Also, there's videos that were shown in class about the course options. So therefore, there was various ways to help your student in order for this process to be as seamless as possible. So the counselors will be in a drop-in basis for the duration of the course selection window. And you can find that on our counseling website as well. So when we're thinking about the course selection, there are 3 different areas that we find the most important, right? So of course, balance, their interests, and the teacher input. So when we're thinking about balance, we want to ensure that they're well balanced, that they're challenged but not overwhelmed, and of course, leaving time for extracurricular activities and their personal interests. Because right now, this is where they're in 10th grade, to where they can start thinking about summer programs. They can start thinking about things that they could be doing throughout their duration of high school to make sure that they have a well-balanced experience. So balance is, you're going to hear us talk about balance for the duration of their high school career. Of course, when it comes to their interests, we want them to take an AP or honors course that they like the subject area and it's aligned with their interests, instead of just taking the honors or AP course just to take it to boost their GPA. So we're hoping that students are taking courses that they're interested in and it's aligned with their interests, so they're able to have a more meaningful experience in the classes. And then lastly, we're hoping that they do get the teacher input, because some of the teachers do teach the classes. They understand what the courses mean. They understand what as far as the course, the workload, the experience in the classes, what the students have experienced. So we encourage students to definitely talk to their teachers or even their potential teachers to get information about the courses, in addition to the counseling website, because the counseling website has the course catalog and we have all of the information provided on the website. So we do encourage students to, take advantage of this opportunity, take advantage of this week, because it's a meaningful week and we put a lot of energy and effort into it to make this process as seamless as possible. So as far as just going into 11th grade, because 10th graders are signing up for classes for next year. So we have some alternate programs that your students will have the opportunity to apply for. So we have 3 programs, which are 11th and 12th graders only. And so Freestyle Academy. So if your student is interested in an integrated type of coursework with communication arts and digital media, if they're interested in animation, design, film, video, then Freestyle Academy may be the option for your student. And so that's one option. The second option is middle college. So middle college is an alternative traditional high school setting. So the students will have half high school courses, half community college courses. And lastly is College Now, which is a 100% college coursework. It's fully housed at Foothill College. Middle College and College Now are both housed at Foothill. They're 2 separate programs for various reasons, but if you want information, please go to our website under course selection info. We definitely have all of the information. When the applications, we have a link to the applications. All applications required, there are applications required for all programs. We have the links to all 3 of the programs on our website. So if any of your students are interested, please have them look at the website and apply. And when it comes to course selections for this current window right now, the students will still need to set up their classes as if they will stay at Los Altos High School. And if they're accepted into either one of these 3 programs, they will go to their counselor and will make the necessary adjustments. So have your student just kind of think of themselves as being at Los Altos. And if they are interested in the program, accepted into the program, we'll make the necessary adjustments. Just wanted you guys to be aware of that. And just thinking about the sophomore year and thinking of our ASCA model and thinking of the 3 domains that we typically focus on. So just know that there are 3 different domains that we're focused on, which is academic, personal, and social emotional, and the college and career. So this is kind of the sophomore timeline. And so we kind of heavily already went over the academic piece. And then as far as the personal and social emotional piece, we are, kind of navigating that in, but how you can help and your students can assist is looking over their first semester grades, choosing their classes, being mindful and thoughtful, and really thinking about what their next chapter, which is their 11th and 12th grade year, will look like. And lastly, their college and career center, the College and Career Center. So we do various things and we work real well with the College and Career Center. We're kind of go hand in hand. And so as far as the college exploration, continue with extracurricular activities and some summer opportunities, you'll hear about that in a few minutes by Miss Laura. But we did want to just kind of show you kind of where things kind of lie to help your sophomore with the rest of this semester. And just thinking of some academic action items for sophomores, just ensuring that, you as the parent and the student are reviewing your transcript and looking at your grad status report. During this time, which is the 3rd quarter that we're currently in, if the student is struggling, please have them reach out to their counselor so therefore we can help them register for summer school. And then working with the teachers and utilizing ACT time that we have twice a week. So that's just a couple of things that we find the most useful, and just, using the tutorial center. We have a wonderful tutorial center that is open all day. So the students are able to get the help that they need. So we just encourage students to be mindful, about their academics, and just know that we are here as a support and we do have help that can be provided to them. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Duran.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, it's my pleasure to be here and speaking with you about the services that the College and Career Center provides. We have 2 full-time staff members fully dedicated to this role, Ms. Angela Price and myself. Ms. Price starts working with students in the spring of 11th grade, and I start working with students from day 1. Everyone is welcome to come into the College and Career Center. So I encourage you to encourage your students to swing by. We are located in P15. We'd love to show them the resources and start to get to know your students. Okay, next slide. So in the College and Career Center, it's in the title, but we do provide college resources. So we schedule the college reps visits that come to campus. 9th and 10th graders are welcome to join when visits are happening outside of class time. But starting in 11th grade, students can get permission from their classroom teacher to miss a portion of instruction to attend a college visit. So that's definitely something we encourage students to take advantage of. We also offer ACT workshops. So on Wednesday and Friday, students can sign up on Teach More, or they can just drop in and we'll check them in that day. We are sending email communications through Parent Square, which has been mentioned. So also please have a conversation with your student about email organization, setting aside time to check those communications. If your student took the PSAT this past fall, you're probably seeing a giant influx of email communication and or physical mail communication. So setting some organization tips, and they can come in and we can help them with that as well. We have a YouTube channel and we have a Facebook and Instagram for social media. For career, we use Naviance as a platform. Parents, I'd be happy to create an account for you. You just can send me an email with your name and your student's name, and I'll make sure that's activated. Students have had access from day 1. We ask them to complete some activities in 9th grade, and the counselors are going to be working with them on entering more information in Naviance as well. And then we continue having students complete work in Naviance in 11th and 12th grade. For career, we also encourage experiential learning. We're promoting various summer opportunities. And if students interested in a career, we can help connect them with informational interviews. If you out there are interested in being somebody that our students can interview, we would love to have you on our list, and you can just shoot me an email saying what you do and if you'd be happy to be connected with a student. For extracurricular activities, we have so many different clubs at Los Altos High School. We have a long list of opportunities for students to volunteer, get involved in different activities, sports. There is also a place to document that on the resume, and really it can be overwhelming for students to pick what and when to get involved, but we do want students to be reflective on why they're doing something, not just what they're doing, and to be able to articulate that. And we can go to the next slide. Okay, so a little bit more on Naviance here. There's the activities section in Naviance and a place for self-discovery. So we encourage students to take the AchieveWorks personality assessment. There's about 6 different assessments that they can take. And the nice thing is counselors can view the results. So if a student takes these assessments, they walk into the College and Career Center, I can pull up their account and have a pointed conversation with them and get right into the details very quickly. In Naviance, there's a fully integrated resume feature that students can use. There's also a great resume template on the College and Career Center website. And if a student already has something created, they can come into the College and Career Center and I can show them how to link that in Naviance so that, again, teachers or counselors who might be writing letters of recommendation can view that information. And students can start looking at colleges through Naviance using advanced college search. So looking by state or just typing in a specific school. And again, in 10th grade, it can be very casual, just completely exploratory and getting a sense of what's out there. Naviance uses single sign-on for students, so they do not need a username or password. They just need to use their MVLA email address and click the big teal single sign-on button. If there are any issues with login or account, please send me an email and I'd be happy to troubleshoot for your student or for you. Next slide. Okay, so in the College and Career Center, right now we're in the portables. We're looking forward to getting into the brand new building in the center of campus. You might have seen, hopefully you saw a very lengthy summer program email that I sent out to students and parents on January 11th. And in there's just a ton of information about various summer programs and ways to get involved. Some of those programs cost quite a bit of money, but several others have great scholarship options or are free. And I'm delighted to report that a few 10th graders came by today during ACT to discuss what they were finding or ask some questions. And so again, please encourage your student to come by or reach out. As I mentioned at the beginning, Ms. Price starts to meet with students one-to-one in the spring of 11th grade. And I am happy to talk to students about test prep. The landscape for college admissions testing has changed dramatically since the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's still in flux, but many colleges and universities have adopted a test optional policy. And the University of California and the California State Universities have gone to a test-free policy, and that will continue for your students when they apply to college. However, a few schools have reinstituted the policy and are requiring the SAT or the ACT. And so I can have those conversations with students who are maybe thinking about what kind of testing they need to consider. And just for the current sophomores, the SAT is moving to a digital format. So it's moving away from a paper format and into a digital format. So that is something that will pertain to your 10th graders. Okay, next slide. So we do encourage you to start having discussions about college as a family. It would be great if you want to plan a visit to a local college just to get your student acquainted with various sizes of campuses, types of schools, programs that are available. Close by, we have San Jose State, UC Santa Cruz, Santa Clara University is a great one to go visit, UC Berkeley across the bay, and San Francisco State and University of San Francisco are all really wonderful local options. And all of the schools that I mentioned admit more than 10% of the students that apply. So if you're thinking I missed one that's very, very local, that was not accidental. And we also have some upcoming events that we'd love you to save the date for. So there's a WACAT College Fair that's going to be on April 4th from 6 to 8 p.m. at West Valley College, and students and parents can sign up now for that. The MVLA Countdown to College event that we host annually in the spring, it's going to be held via Zoom. We will be sharing more details soon once we have all of the speakers organized in the Zoom links, but please save the time and the date. And then NACAC, the National Counseling Admissions, College Counseling Admissions Council, will be offering virtual college fairs in February, March, and April, and those will be on Sundays in the morning into the early afternoon. So you can definitely participate in those. And then summer, we definitely want to acknowledge it's an important time for students to take time to relax, rejuvenate, and kind of explore. But we also know that too much unstructured time can sort of be demotivating. So being thoughtful about how to spend that valuable summertime, in addition to recharging, maybe getting a part-time job, engaging in volunteering, or possibly doing some coursework. So those are just some points for summer activities. And again, happy to have those individual conversations with students. Okay. And I'm passing it back to Ms. Wise.
Thank you, Ms. Laura. So I think we wanted to go back to finding balance because the junior year, as we know, can be one of the toughest years, as well as the last year that, you know, schools or colleges see prior to, you know, so 11th grade year is very critical. So, and then also students have the ability to take more advanced classes. So that's why we are encouraging students to find balance, look at the big picture, maximize their strengths and follow their passions. Consider the time that it requires for all commitments, the extracurricular activities, if they're taking more than a few advanced placement courses or honors classes, and how much work that will entail. And then incorporate some downtime. Everybody needs to take care of themselves, and we definitely encourage self-care. So incorporating downtime is one of the most important things that, you know, students as well as adults need. So we definitely encourage that and want to embed that into the whole time management, right? And so we do have a time management worksheet that we did provide to your students on the back of their course selection sheet, because we do want students to understand it's a large picture. It's just not one thing with classes, but it's classes, extracurricular activities, and your own personal health as well. So the time management worksheet can be seen or, you know, if you want to look at it, it's on our counseling website. And then some campus support resources. So as we've talked about, you've seen the picture of all of us. And so definitely understand that we do meet with your students, and we have them for all 4 years. And that's why we encourage them in various different capacities to come see us and meet us and talk to us, because we are their counselor for the duration of their high school career. And then, as I stated before, the tutorial center, the writing center, they do have tutors available to help with all academic subjects, nearly all academic subjects. And then Ms. Duran did a great job of explaining the College and Career Center and what they provide. We do have some mental health support. And so those counselors are available to help your students with personal, social, and emotional needs. And I'll be providing that in the next slide. And then lastly, we do have Spanish translation with Maria Herney, which has been doing our translation tonight. Thank you, Miss Maria. And she's our bilingual community liaison and our ELL support. And then just thinking about school-based mental health services, we do have a district website. So on mvla.net, which is our district website, under mental health and wellness resources, you will see a wide variety of resources to help in any situation. So this is just a couple of things that our school provides, which is the 6 to 12 weeks of one-on-one therapeutic support, some facilitation of referrals to outside providers when appropriate if they need longer services, and then group support when appropriate as well. And so just on this mental health and wellness resources page, they do have the referral if you as a parent need to refer your student, if a student needs to refer themselves, or if a friend of a student needs to refer them. That is where the as well as our school website, lahs.nvla.net, they do have they do have the referral form on that page as well. So we do encourage students, if they need the support, we do have the support that can help the students throughout, their time if they need it. And now I'll be turning it over to Mr. Carter to end the night.
All right, thanks, Tamisha. So before we get into Q&A, I just wanted to ask that you all take a moment tonight to answer a brief one-question survey. It's literally one question. It should take you just a second. So there's a bit.ly link there, and the QR code is also functioning. So that should be a very quick and easy survey to take. And as you're doing that, I'm going to take a look at some of the great questions that we've been getting through the night, and I'm going to play moderator here and serve these up to our panel. Okay, so first question that I'm seeing here is, can parents have their own Naviance accounts or access Naviance? Laura, do you want to take that one?
Sure, absolutely. I'm happy to set up Naviance parent accounts. If you could just send me an email with your student's name. And if you have students who've already graduated, I can actually link your previous account with your graduated student. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Laura. When are the 10th grade workshops, and how do sophomores get in? I'll take that one since I talked at length about it. The 10th grade workshop that I described in detail tonight, those take place in the spring, usually between April and May, and we assign students to those by their counselor. They're small groups, about 10 students per group. We take care of assigning them, inviting students, and then they come in. Right now we're in the portables for a little while longer, and so we're able to house those in our offices, which is great. And so they come in and we have the workshops there. So nothing that the student needs to do, we take care of that piece for them. But thanks for asking that question. Let's see here. Where can my student get information on SAT, ACT test prep? Laura, do you want to take that one?
Sure. Yes, absolutely. We have a test prep page on the College and Career Center website, and on there it walks students and families through the difference between the SAT, the ACT. There are links to free study prep materials, and then it can also be a conversation that's, again, students come in and to have to say, what schools are you looking for? How do you feel about testing? How did you do on the PSAT? What might the timeline look like? So we can definitely help advise. And then there are many for-profit testing companies that offer services, but there are also lots of free services as well. So we can happily share those resources with students and families.
Great. Thanks, Laura. Do the programs and services described tonight apply to English as second language students? Tamisha, can you address that one?
So as far as the alternate programs, I guess that's what they're referring to. Yes, students are able to apply to the alternate programs. They do have some supports that they can also provide. But yes, they can apply. It's open access to everyone. So everyone is able to apply for those alternate programs.
Thanks, Tamisha. And also, anything that we're describing here tonight that we're offering in-house, whether those are workshops or anything like that, all of our students are included in those activities. So just wanted to make sure that that was clear as well. Let's see. How are the pluses and minuses factored in when calculating GPA? Okay, GPA question. This is an easy one. I'll take it. They're not factored into the Los Altos High School GPA at all. So an A is an A is an A. So if you had a A or a B or a B minus, there's no difference in the GPA between pluses or minuses. And that is also the same for the UC and the CSU in terms of how they calculate GPA as well. Am I right about that, Laura? Okay. Let's see here. Laura, I think you touched on this, but just to clarify, individual college counseling appointments, which year do those begin in the College and Career Center with Angela?
Those will start in the spring of 11th grade. But students are encouraged to come by before then and participate in ACT workshops or just come hang out in the College and Career Center.
Great, thank you. Okay. Let's see here. Laura, I'm going to give you another one. When does sign up for SAT and ACT come up, and when are the tests held?
Okay, yeah. The tests are held throughout the year. There are dates in the fall, in the winter, the spring, and then in the summer. And so depending on SAT or ACT, the dates vary. So I'm going to drop a link in the chat that it links to the College and Career Center testing page. And from that testing page, there are links to the College Board site where you can see the SAT dates, and the ACT site where you can see the ACT test dates. And then students can discuss with their families when they would like to test, and then they can see what day the registration opens. And registering sooner than later is helpful, so that way your student can get a seat closer to home and not need to drive an hour to take the test.
Great, thanks, Laura. Saw a question here about outside coursework over the summer and what the process is for that. So I'll just take this one. Any student who wants to take any kind of coursework outside of our district, whether that's at a community college or any other type of accredited institution, there's a process where they need to apply to have that course approved if they want to try to add that course onto their Los Altos High School transcript. If you go to our counseling webpage and look at out-of-district coursework, there's a very, and I mean very detailed document on how that process looks. And it's a two-pronged process for Foothill coursework or community college coursework. There's the out-of-district application plus the dual enrollment form that students need to complete as well. So take a look at that and make sure you read through that thoroughly before you take anything outside of our district. Tamisha, here's one for you. How can my student see their four-year plan or access it?
So the four-year plan was done with your student, so therefore it should be in their Google Drive. So if they don't have access, have them reach out to their counselor so the counselor can share it, reshare it with them, because we do have copies of it.
Great, thank you. There were some questions about middle college and college now, or you addressed some with that English learners question. I did also want to mention that middle college and college now were actually on our campus today presenting to 10th grade students. So your students may have gone in and attended that workshop today, and they got a lot of details about the application process. And as Tamisha mentioned, there are details, all the details about the application process posted in the counseling section of our website. Okay, let me keep looking here. Here's one, Laura. How can students learn about how they did on the PSAT in October of 2022? The test that was taken on site.
Great. Yeah, thank you. So just, I might have said this very quickly, but every Friday, we send out an email to every student at Los Altos. We're calling it the College and Career Center Bulletin, and it includes important information that we think that they should know. And so I had shared out information with students on how they could access their PSAT scores. I'll drop it back in the chat, but if you could do us a favor and ask your student to go into their email and search my name, laura.duran@mvla.net. You can see what the bulletins look like. And I'll also drop in the chat a link to the Google Doc where you as a parent can view all of the communications that have gone out to your students on that weekly document. So I'll drop both in the chat, but the short answer is they need to log into their College Board account. And if they have any issues, they can contact our testing coordinator, Christina Sedmine.
Great, thanks, Laura. Tamisha, I'll let you take this one. This is coming from a parent. Can I refer my student to mental health services?
Yes, you can. So on the MVLA district website, under the mental health and wellness resources, they do have 2 referral forms, one in English, one in Spanish, that will go directly to the referral coordinator that will take a look at it, and they will, talk to the student and set them up for services if that is something that the student is, because they have to consent to it. And then the parent will have to consent after a couple of sessions. So yes, we do the referrals in English and Spanish on the district website.
Great, thanks, Tamisha. Laura, I think we're going to close it out here, actually. Laura, are there any special processes that students have to go through to volunteer or engage in volunteer activities outside of the school?
Thank you. No, Los Altos MVLA does not have a volunteer requirement for graduation, which I think actually is a great thing for students, because any volunteer work they do is because they want to, and colleges will know if it's a graduation requirement, and then they'll also know what the number of hours are. So I would just recommend that a student documents their service on an activities list or on a resume. Again, they can use that built-in Naviance version or use a template that we have on the College and Career Center website. And then just documenting the dates and the hours, and then maybe getting a supervisor's contact information in case there's a question. They have a name for somebody we could reach out to, or a college could reach out to if needed. But it does not have to be verified through a third party.
Great. Thanks, Laura. Tamisha, would you mind going back one slide just so we have the survey up there? Great. So I think we got to almost every question tonight. If for some reason we didn't address your question, you can always reach out to your student's counselor individually, and they will definitely get back to you and help you out with that question. Again, I have the survey link up here, as well as the QR code. And if you can just take that brief 1-question survey, we'd really appreciate it. We want to thank you all so much for being here tonight, taking the time to be here. We really do value you as partners, and look forward to our continued work together to support your students throughout the rest of this year and over the next 2 years, so that they can be as successful and happy as possible in the remainder of their high school experience. So thanks everyone for joining, and we'll look forward to seeing you again sometime real soon. Thanks again. Have a great night.